Welcome everyone to this mindful movement and meditation class. I apologise for the sound of my voice. It's a little bit scratchy because this morning I woke up with COVID, which has prompted me to record this session just in case come Monday I'm actually not well enough to speak. So if that is the case and you are seeing this instead of our live session, I apologise. I must be sick in bed. For anyone who is new to these classes, my name is Amelie and I'm also healing from a whole heap of different chronic illnesses that have in the years seen me bedbound. These days I'm pretty well, COVID aside, and generally pretty good with my movement ability despite having various injuries. So my healing journey has shown me a lot of different modalities, which I'm sharing with you today. So for this class, we're going to remain seated, supported by our seats. So I want you to go ahead and make yourselves comfortable. And I just want to say a big congratulations for showing up today, or whenever you're hitting play on this recording. It can take a lot to push past all the barriers that we face in our lives when we have conditions that are ongoing day in, day out. So already, just by pressing this play button, you've done an amazing job. So even if there's some exercises that you feel that you need to sit out, then please don't feel bad about that. And I encourage you to listen to your body's needs and limitations, and be your own judge of when you might need to ease the range of movement back. Now I hope this flashing light of the microphone isn't too disconcerting or distracting. It's just a better sound quality, so hopefully that's all okay with you guys. So let's begin. Now, to start with, I like to ask that we all release ourselves of our worries. So I like to put them in this big jar. So I'll take the lid off, allow you to spend a moment to just place your worries in here. Now you can go ahead and close your eyes or you can keep them open. One thing I like to do is a bit of bilateral tapping. So you can cross your hands across your chest, making your fingertips underneath your collarbones here, and just gently, lightly flutter these butterfly wings one at a time. And this sends a really nice calming signal to the amygdala in our brain that we're okay. And so you can go ahead and speak your worries into the jar. Anything that might be whirling around in your mind or in your stomach, perhaps making you feel a bit queasy and knotted up there, or anything that's weighing down on your shoulders that you've been carrying, perhaps a heavy load in the few days leading up to now. So I want you to go ahead and either speak your worries into the jar, or you could sigh them out with each exhale. You could just imagine them on their way into the jar. And then when you're ready, just taking a deep breath in through the nose. And then pausing for a moment with that breath before sighing it out. Just letting it all go. And so when you're ready, we'll put a lid on that jar of worries and we will pop it down, away, out of sight, out of mind, and we'll move on to our next little exercise. And so we're going to shift any remaining niggling energy that we're not too fond of, and we're going to get rid of it. So we're going to go ahead and imagine that anything that's still lingering in your body or in your mind, grab hold of it now in your fists. And then take those fists down either side of you and then up overhead. And then once you're there, take a deep breath in. And then I want you to throw them on the ground and say, shoo! And just release them. And you can feel that energy shift away out of your fingertips. You'll feel a little bit of tingliness. So I want you to go ahead and do that again. Grab hold of anything that's still lingering. Grab it in your fists, take it down, back around, overhead, and deep breath in. Shoo! Throw it on the ground. And one last time, we'll grab hold of anything that's still lingering. Taking it down. If you don't have the space to go all the way down, you might just go up over the sides. Take it up overhead. One more deep breath in through the nose. And shoo! Getting rid of that remaining energy. Now feel free to give yourself a bit of a shake off. You can be as vigorous as you like, or you can be gentle. Just meet yourself where you're at today and just move that body of yours, just shifting any last issues that you have there in your mind. And now that we have shifted that worrisome energy, those anxieties, all of that, let's go ahead and replace it with some healing chi energy. So I want you to go ahead and rub your hands together, creating some nice heat and friction in between them. And once you feel that heat there, like rub them really fast and pull them away. Just feel it coursing between your hands, and then wash that over your face. You can wash it over your face 9 times. Or if you feel the need to take that energy elsewhere, you're welcome to rub it on the areas that you feel need a little bit extra love and attention today. Wherever it might be, maybe your head's hurting, maybe you've got some shoulder issues. Just rub that beautiful healing energy that you've titrated today. And when you are ready, I want you to just find yourself comfortable in your seat. If you need to grab any supports, feel free to do so now. And there's a few different variations of where you can put your hands for this next grounding exercise. One of them is to grab hold of either wrist and create a nice little chi loop of energy as it flows through you. Another one is just to allow your hands to fall down on your lap with your thumb and forefingers touching, just allowing them to rest there if that feels good. Another option is to go ahead and give yourself a nice tight hug. For some people this might feel a little too tight, so the other variation is to take one hand, place it underneath your underarm, the other arm across your body, grabbing hold of that shoulder. It's a softened version of this hug. And when you find yourself in whichever position feels right for you today, I want you to close your eyes down and take a lovely deep breath in through the nose. Pause, holding that breath for a moment before exhaling, either through the nose or the mouth, just making the exhale longer than the inhale. Doesn't matter by how much. And another breath in. And I want you to go ahead and focus in on those nice deep breaths for a moment. And when you feel ready, I want you to take yourself in your imagination to the safest place that you can picture. And so this could be a place in your memory. This might be a room in grandma's house perhaps, or it could be in the embrace of someone that you love, someone that makes you feel really comforted and supported and safe. Perhaps it's a parent, or maybe it's a friend or your partner. Perhaps your safe place is somewhere outdoors. Maybe you find that you feel safest at the beach with the sun and the sounds of the water. Wherever you go to in your memory or your imagination that feels safe to you, I want you to try and bring it alive in your mind now. So go ahead and tune into your 5 senses here and notice in your memory or your imagination the colours that surround you and the shapes and the shadows, the contrast. I want you to take notice of any smells that might be in the air or any tastes that you can taste in your mouth. Just notice any noises here in this safe place of yours. Is there comforting murmurs from someone you love, or is there music playing? What's the lighting like? Is there a breeze? Is there bird noises? Just really feel into this memory or imagination of you in your safe place, bringing it to life now with your senses. And try and feel into it as well. Feel how your body feels in this safe place. Does your heart rate slow down? Maybe you have a sense of calm in your belly, in your heart. Maybe your mind is more alert, more focused. Just feel into that feeling, and on your next deep breath, I want you to consciously release the tension that's in your lower body as you exhale. Just anything that you're holding tight, just let it go now on that exhale. And then on the next breath, you can do the same thing, but for your upper body. going ahead and releasing any tension that you might have in your shoulders, and your arms, and your neck. And when you're ready, just taking another lovely deep breath in through the nose. And again, we're going to make that exhale twice as long, maybe even 3 times as long if you can manage. We'll just breathe it out, whether it's through your nose or your mouth, it doesn't matter. Just making that exhale longer than the inhale. And again, breathing in. And when you are feeling ready, you can release your arms from wherever they are, and keeping your eyes closed, you can take your hands and place them over your ears as though you are just blocking out all the noise of the day. And just notice as you close them on down that all of that noise, all of that chatter of the day around you quietens down. And you can picture yourself in the womb, if you like, the safest place. And just take a few deep breaths here. And one final deep breath here. And when you're ready, you can release your hands away from your ears and just find yourself back into a comfortable seated position. And now, just if you feel the need to adjust your body, we have been sitting a little while. If you need to stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out, maybe up overhead, just feel free to move in some way. Perhaps you want to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe roll your wrists, maybe roll your ankles. Just bring yourself back into this present moment now. And I'm going to just speak through rather quickly so you don't get bogged down in too much detail. It's a 5-step tool in redirecting our brain's focus away from the symptoms that we have, the conditions that we have, everything that we face that causes us stress and anxiety in our lives. So I won't go into too much detail. There will be a video that I'll create later that you can seek out for more info, but we'll just do it together now, and you can see if it feels good for you, because that's what it's about. It's about feeling better in our body, in our mind. So the first step of this 5-step tool is called catch. So what we're going to do is catch ourselves in that, before that spiral takes hold, you know, that one where you're thinking thoughts like, why do I feel worse right now? Am I ever going to feel better? Am I ever going to heal? You know, is this my forever? Those sorts of thoughts. Just catch yourself and notice that they're happening. And it creates a little bit of a distance between yourself and those thoughts. You're not actually those thoughts. You don't have to think them. And then step 2 is to go ahead and interrupt those thoughts. So I'm a very visual person. I like to picture myself as though I'm a director in a film or a theatre production. I'm sitting in my director's chair. I've noticed that the actors have said the wrong lines, and so I'll call out, cut, and make that little hand movement. And then that leads us directly on to the 3rd step. So once you've interrupted those thoughts, we're going to redirect our thoughts and we're going to calm down our amygdala. So we'll do some mindful acceptance tapping now. And because we've just said cut, this can be really easy to remember where to begin. We just start on the karate point, that same area that we tapped on our hand. So you can tap on that fleshy bit there with the other 4 fingers and just tap away gently, alternating between one hand and the other, just whenever you feel to. And what we're doing as we tap in this area, and we'll tap in a few other areas too, is we're sending a calming signal directly to that worried little amygdala in our brains. And so what you can do is just repeat these following positive affirmations and statements after I say them. I'll leave a little time in between each so that you can repeat after me. So, even though I have these symptoms, I love and accept myself as I am. Even though this feels so overwhelming, I choose to relax and feel safe now. Even though I'm holding so much stress in my body, I know it's safe to let it go now. And then we're going to move to our eyebrow points, and you can tap on both eyebrows or you can tap on one, it's totally up to you. And we're going to say, it's safe to let go of my anxiety. And moving on to the side of the eyes on the bone there. It's okay that these feelings rise up in me. And it's now safe to let them go. And then we'll move to underneath the eyes, just on the bone again. Even though I'm feeling pain and discomfort in my body, I know that I am safe. And then we're going to move to just underneath the nose here, between the bottom of your nose and the top of your lip. I accept my discomfort and my emotions. Moving on to the chin, I acknowledge all my stress. Then we'll move on to our collarbones, just tapping on either side there. I begin to feel safe in my body. And then just underneath the underarm, bat a handsband down. If you're wearing a bra, it'll be on your bra line. The more I relax, the more my body heals. And then moving on to the other arm. The more I relax, the more my mind heals. And then when you're ready, go ahead and anchor that message by tapping on the top of your head and say, letting go now. And let's go back. We're going to do another round. And we'll say, I acknowledge all my worries. Even though I'm carrying many worries, I know that right now I am safe. Even though I feel worried, I choose to relax and feel safe now. And then we'll move onto our eyebrow points again. I acknowledge that these worries I have are a lot for my mind and body to process. Moving on to the side of the eyes when you're ready. I accept the feelings of discomfort that accompany my worries. Underneath the eyes when you're ready. I acknowledge that as humans we all worry at times. And I know I have support. Moving on to underneath the nose. Even though I feel all this worry, I know I have the power to feel calm now. Onto the chin point. I allow my worries to surface, and I know it's safe to let them go. And then moving on to the collarbones. I allow myself to fully feel this worry. And then onto the underarm. Even though I feel many worries, I love and accept myself as I am. And then onto the other side. I allow my body to process and release all of my worries. And then we'll anchor this message like we did before on the top of our head, saying, letting go now. So step 4 is called visualize. So now that you're feeling hopefully a little calmer and grounded, the next step is to utilize the power of your imagination and either choose a memory or create a fresh new visualization of yourself in the future doing something that you love to do. So you can close your eyes down, and this memory or imagination will be different for everyone. This could be going for a swim at the beach, maybe sailing, maybe you're playing a sport, maybe you're socializing or on holiday with friends or loved ones. You could be making something creative, maybe you're in a woodworking shop or weaving, maybe you're playing in the mud, whatever it is that creates a sense of joy and puts you in your element. I want you to imagine yourself doing that now. And what we're doing is we're going to bring some happy feel-good chemicals into our brain, because our brain struggles to know the difference between imagination and reality. And so the clearer that we can paint this picture in our mind's eye, the more happy feel-good chemicals we're going to be able to create. So go ahead and in your imagination or your memory, I want you to paint this picture alive and tune in to your sense of sight and notice all the beautiful colors around you. Notice all the shapes and the textures, and I want you to think about whether you can smell anything in this memory or visualization, and whether you can taste anything. Maybe you're eating some delicious food. Whatever you're doing that puts you in your element, just really tune into your senses. Notice any sounds. Maybe there's music, chatter, perhaps there's water running, crashing. Whatever there is around you, just go ahead and notice with exquisite detail, bringing this memory or imagination to life. And I want you to feel into your body how it feels here. Is there excitement in your body? Is there butterflies in your stomach perhaps? Or maybe this thing that brings you joy makes you calm. Maybe your breathing has really slowed down. And I just want you to take notice of whether your mind is alert and sharp when you're doing this thing that you love to do. Is your body feeling energized and alive? Do you feel really vital and excited to be back doing what you love, or maybe it's something that you've always wanted to try? Just really tune into that feeling. And if you haven't already got a big smile on your face, I want you to go ahead and put a big smile on there now. Again, your brain doesn't know whether that's real or whether that's false, and that big smile can help create some more happy feel-good chemicals for us. And hopefully you're feeling more alive and energized in your body after having brought this to life there. And the step 5 of this practice is called intention. And so this is about bringing this feeling back with us into the present moment. So we can go ahead and state an affirmation that feels good for you. So something that, it could be something like, I commit to feeling better, or my body is always healing, or I am progressing on my healing journey. But try and make sure that it feels right for you and it doesn't conjure up a resistance for your brain. So your brain needs to be able to believe that this is a true statement. So if you're feeling a little bit worse for wear and not quite gelling with these positive affirmations, then perhaps you'd like to try something more like, I choose to take a break from my negative thoughts, or I can calm my worried mind whenever I need to. So something that is more neutral but definitely believable, because guess what, we've just done that together now. So go ahead and state this intention, this affirmation, whatever you want to call it, bringing this feeling of vitality and hopefully energy back into our present moment, knowing that we are in fact on the right path to healing, and you definitely are, because you have shown up today for yourself. So before we begin, I just want to remind you all that you have to be the judge of your body's limitations today. So don't go exerting too much energy. We are not here to become fitness fanatics. We're just here to increase our strength and mobility and to calm our nervous systems down a bit. So hopefully you are feeling that sense of calm, and I want you to go ahead, and you might need to make some adjustments in your seat area where you're sitting, and just plant your feet firmly on the ground. And I want you to do a few controlled shoulder roll shrugs. So we're going to take them up towards our ears and then back towards our back, and then down, really pushing them away from our ears before curling them over to the front, and then up again. And we'll do that. You can make it one smooth motion, moving in one direction 3 times. And don't worry if your rolls aren't quite as wide as mine. If they're just small, then that's perfectly fine. Just again, meet your body where it's at today. And then just taking that same motion and taking it forwards 3 times. Just waking up our neck and shoulders. And when you are feeling ready, just go ahead and tuck your chin in as tight as you can. You want to give yourself as many chins as possible. And we're going to unfurl like a fern as it awakens for the day. And so we'll go ahead and just uncurl our neck, then looking up towards the sky. And then curling back over, tucking ourselves in for the night before unfurling like that fern, once again showing our leaves to the sun. And then when you're ready, just bringing your head back to a neutral position, just looking straight forward. And then we'll go ahead and look towards one shoulder and just hold there for a moment, just as far as you can reach. And just check in with your body, see how tense you are. It's okay if you are a little tense and tight there. We're just going to check in with the other side. So taking it over to the other side, and it might feel a lot different. It might feel the same. It's okay. Whatever it feels like is okay today. And now taking your head down slowly, we're going to half moon our way back to the other shoulder. Really nicely slow and controlled. And once you arrive there at the other shoulder, just take a deep breath in. And then on that exhale, we can half moon our way back. Again, nice and slow and controlled. And then just bringing your head to a center. Now, allow your head to fall softly to one side, trying to keep your shoulders straight, and just allow gravity to do the work first. And then we're going to reach up overhead, grab hold of your head. Now, we're going to try and pull this ear away from this shoulder, but we don't want to crunch down like that. We sort of want to pull up and away. So just apply some very gentle pressure here, just enough so you can feel that stretch there in the neck. We don't want to try and overdo it. And if you want to add a strengthening component, now remember, you don't have to if you're not feeling up to it today, but if you did, then you can just push up against that hand for a few seconds and feel that your arm and both sides of your neck engage, and then just letting go and releasing that arm down. And when you're ready, just slowly bring your head back up to center. You might need to readjust your shoulders, and then we'll just do the same on the other side, allowing that head with gravity to do the work first. And then when you're ready, just reaching up that other hand, pulling this ear away from this shoulder, just gently, just enough to feel that slight stretch in your neck. And then if you did want to add that strengthening component, just pushing up against that hand just for a few seconds. And then when you're ready, just releasing that stretch and letting your arm fall back down to the side and bring your head back up to center. Now just making sure that your feet are firmly planted on the ground to support yourself. You might need to shift forward on your chair, on your seat, wherever you're sitting, and just raising one arm up overhead and then grabbing the elbow of that arm. Now this might be enough of a stretch for you, but if you can, just gently tilt to one side and only go so far as you feel that you can hold it with stability and without compromising anything in your body. So we're just engaging our side body, our midsection, stabilizing our core muscles here. And just breathe into that stretch, maybe a couple of deep breaths here. And when you feel ready, just slowly bring yourself back to center. And then switching it over to the other arm and leaning to one side. Just enough to engage those core muscles as we help to stabilize our body and balance it with that stability. And once you've had a couple of deep breaths on that side as well, just coming back up to center and then just releasing your arms down. Now, if you can, hold them out to either side. If that's too hard for you, then just bring them down to your sides. We're going to do some gentle rotations. So wherever you're at with your arms, whether they're down low or up high, just move them gently in little circles forwards and then little circles back. And if you're down here, this is going to look a little different. Now, if you are up here and you can, then maybe try and increase those circles. Get a little bit of extra movement going in that rotator cuff on either side. Now, anyone with a shoulder injury, I want you to just be very, very careful here. I know for me, my rotator cuff hasn't been quite the same since a car accident. So always just check in with your body and don't overdo it. And if you're down here, then it can be a little harder to do the wider rotations. It doesn't quite give the same effect with the rotator cuff, but it's still a good movement to do. And once your arms feel that hot heaviness, then it's probably time to end that particular movement. And what we're going to do is give our upper body a little bit of a break. And we'll come back to our midsection and we're going to do some seated cat-cow. So to do this, we're just going to place our hands on our knees, just making sure that you're nice and stable on your seat. And we're just going to drop our belly forward, bring our shoulders back and take our head up towards the sun or the moon, depending on the timing of when you're doing this. And then curling it over into cat, allowing the shoulders to roll over, the head to tuck under a little bit, and the back to arch and curl over. And then just moving, transitioning. Perhaps you like to follow your breath, or maybe even slower. Just moving through those cat-cows at your own pace. And if you want, you can explore a little bit of extra movement in your shoulders, or maybe in your midsection. Feel free, if your body calls for it, to explore those extra movements. Just really feel into where your body wants you to take it in this moment. But if your body calls for traditional cat-cows, then listen to that and just move through those motions. And when you're feeling like, yep, I've had enough of that one, just come to sit in your chair comfortably, and we'll do some core rotations. So just gently making a little circle like we did with the shoulders. We're going to move forward, then to the side, then to the back, and then to the side. If you can make it a little bigger each time, that's great. And once you've done a few in one direction, you can take it back the other way, just starting off small and just keeping that nice and slow and controlled as you move. And then when you're ready, just coming back to a seated position. Now, you may need to shift forward on your seats a little bit. We're going to widen our stance on the seat, so just making sure that you are nice and stable with your legs out a little bit. We're going to raise up our arms, and then we're going to twist over so that one of our arms aligns with that leg that's out at that angle, and then leaning forward, we're going to place our weight on our forearm onto that knee, and then just raising that other arm up above. Now, if that's too much for you, then just allow your arm to fall to your side and just do that gentle lean. And if you're not feeling quite stable, then you might even just like to put your hand on your leg and just lean a little bit over. But if you can, then maybe you like to try even taking that arm right overhead and increasing that stretch of the side body down here. Just really strengthening, lengthening, stretching it out. Just taking a couple of deep breaths here. And when you're feeling ready, you can lower that arm to help you shift your weight back to the center. And then just taking the arms up, and we're going to rotate them the other way, waiting for that arm to align over that other knee, then allowing the weight to come down. As before, if you don't want to take it all the way over, you can just lean a little bit towards that knee. But if you can, lower your forearm onto that knee, lifting the other hand up overhead, and if you can, just take it the whole way over. But otherwise, just allowing it to calm down and create a bit of a balance on the other side, then that's absolutely fine too. Just listen to where your body's at today. And as we did on the other side, just a couple of deep breaths. And when you're ready, just allow that back hand to come down and provide a bit of balance as you come up to a neutral position with your back. And if you need to make any adjustments, then go ahead and do so. You might even like to lean forward with your shoulders just alternating from one to the other, just increasing that stretch in our side bodies there. And if you wish to, then perhaps you'd like to bring your legs closer together to provide a little bit more stability, and then just leaning forward. We'll do a chair pose in a chair. So what this looks like on the side is just leaning your weight forward onto your legs and just strengthening in our thighs here. And then when you're ready, just bringing your weight back up, bring your arms down to the sides. Now let's just go ahead and grab hold of our knee, bring it into your chest, give it a quick hug there. If you want, feel free to explore a little bit of movement in your ankle. Maybe you just want to flex it and point, maybe a little ankle roll. And then when you're ready, once you've had enough of that little hug, just take your foot over and place it on your knee there. And this might be enough for you. Gravity pulling down your leg might be enough of a stretch for you today. But if you want to take it a little bit further, go ahead and push down on that knee, just increasing that stretch and opening up your hips. We store a lot of tension, a lot of stress and trauma in our sacrum, so it's great to open this area up and just allow that stretch to do its work. Breathe into it. And when you're feeling ready, you can take that same leg, cross it the whole way over the other knee, and then reach up overhead, straight up, deep breath in through the nose. And then on the exhale, fold over that knee. You can fold just stretching out in front if you have a sinus issue like I do. Otherwise, feel free to lean the whole way over and just let your arms dangle. But I might just hold my head up for this one. If you want, you can hold your head up with your hands behind your back, but just folding your main midsection over that knee. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. You'll feel that opening in your hips. And when you feel ready, you can peel your back up vertebrae by vertebrae, and just raising your head last, coming up to center. And then we're going to switch those legs over so you can uncross that knee, grab hold of the other one and give it a nice big squeeze. Now if you did on the other side, or if you want to on this side, just open up your ankle with a little bit of movement. But if you just want to hug your knee, then that's perfectly fine. When you're ready, just taking that ankle across over that other knee, and just allowing, as we did before, for gravity if you need, or if you want to increase that stretch, just gently pushing down on that knee, really allowing that opening to happen in your hips. And go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths here. And once your body's had enough of that one, you can cross your leg the whole way over, making sure you're nice and stable with that other foot planted flat on the floor. And then lifting up your arms up overhead and take a nice deep breath in. And then on that exhale, you can lean your way forward over that knee. And again, you don't have to go the whole way over, but you're welcome to. And you're welcome to put your arms wherever they feel good. And just hold wherever you find yourself for 3 deep breaths. I'll just turn to the side so you can see what that looks like on the side. Your arms might be somewhere else. It can be wherever. And when you are ready, just peel your back up very slowly, nice and controlled. Bring your shoulders back, head up high, and then just uncrossing that leg. And I'm going to move forward so you can see what I'm doing now. We are going to provide some love and attention to our faces, and we're going to give ourselves a little face massage. So begin by just peeling your skin down, like pressing any worried energy out of your brow, and just pulling that energy down off that brow and pinching along your eyebrows the whole way until you make it to the end of your eyebrows. And then once you're ready, just painting a line underneath the eyebrows there, and then one on the eyebrows. Try and take notice of the feeling of your eyebrow hairs as you paint over them. And then just above, and in those little increments, you can imagine that you are painting your face. Maybe you've got a rainbow being painted, or maybe you're painting it with mud, or maybe ochre, whatever you've found. And you're painting your way up to the top of your head. And then once you're there, feel free to rub your hands into your hair, really mess it up. Just explore a bit of a scalp massage here. And just exploring any areas that need a bit of love and attention. Maybe you just want to run your hands in one, like in lines along your head, but maybe you just really want to get in there. It's totally up to you. And then when you're ready, you can come down to your temples and then just give them a little bit of a roll around with your fingers there. And then I highly recommend exploring down your jaw. So sometimes we clench our teeth in the night or during the day, just dealing with a lot of pain. So just allow your jaw to fall open and just massage this joint in here. It can get really tender. And maybe you want to give your cheeks a big smoosh. And then explore your cheekbones, maybe your nose, perhaps underneath your nose and down on your chin. And another area that feels really good is just pinching down the earlobes, just really giving them a gentle massage down the edges there, and then up behind the ears. Maybe you want to take it in an upward direction, and then maybe down to the base of your skull, top of your neck. Maybe it needs a little bit of a massage in there. And then we're going to move into what we call the big 6. So these are lymphatic system stimulator exercises. So we're going to rub along underneath our jawline, and it might feel a little bit tender. I know mine certainly does today. And so you just rub 10 times along that jawline, just underneath the bone there, and then tapping on that same area 10 times. Now I must admit, I always forget to count, so you might want to do the counting, or you can just gauge it. And then tapping. Then we're going to do the same thing, but just above the collarbone. So not on the bone, just above it, but running along the length of it. So 10 times. Tapping 10 times. And then on the other side. Tapping. Then just making gentle fists, rubbing them down in a downward motion on your chest. So you're going to sort of move back and forth across your chest. And so you can do this about 20 times just to make sure you get all of those different areas. And then once you feel that you have, 10 times tapping. Sorry if that's very loud on the microphone. And then underneath your breasts or your pecs, just alternating whichever hand is your top hand and rubbing that area 10 times. And then tapping. And then I'll just stand up to show you, but you might be able to do it sitting down. This one looks a little sus, but so just in the crease of your groin, you're just going to move your thumbs in a down and out motion. So 10 times over along that crease, and then tapping 10 times. And then the next one, which I'll do while I'm standing up as well, but you can do with just putting your legs out, is just rubbing behind your knees 10 times. And then tapping. And that is the big 6 that stimulates our lymphatic system. And now we're just going to, you can stay seated or find yourself lying down, get yourself into a very comfortable position. We're just going to do a tense and release exercise. If you need a glass of water, go ahead and take a sip now. And what we're going to do is close down our eyes and just scan from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, just looking for any lingering areas of tension that you might find in your body. And just notice them. It's okay that they're there still. We'll have a go at releasing them now. So what we're going to do, I'll move back so that you can see me a little bit better. We're going to go ahead and tense up an area as we breathe in, and then hold on to our breath and that area before exhaling and releasing it, letting it all go. So we'll begin with our feet. Now if you get foot cramps when you curl your toes over, then maybe don't curl over your toes, but just flex your feet backwards towards your face instead. But we'll go ahead now and focus on our feet and our ankles. So deep breath in, flexing or curling your feet, whichever suits. Holding that breath. And then when you're ready, sighing it out, letting that tension go. And the next area we're going to do from our ankles to our knees, so tightening all your calf and your shin. Deep breath in, tighten those areas. Your ankles might lock up again, same with your knees. Holding that breath as long as you can, keeping that tight. And then sighing it out and letting it go. The next area we're going to do is from our knees to our buttocks. So deep breath in, clenching your thighs, clenching your buttocks, locking those knees in. Holding that breath, holding that tension. Taking notice of how it feels before letting it all go. And now we'll focus on our lower belly, lower back. So deep breath in, tightening up all that area. Holding that breath. And when you're ready, sighing it out, letting it go. And then the next area we're going to do our chest and our upper back. So deep breath in, tightening those areas. Pretend you're the Hulk. And when you're ready, letting it all go. And the next area we'll do from our fingertips up to our shoulders on both sides. So deep breath in, tensing that all up, holding that breath. And when you're ready, letting that tension go. Next we'll focus on our neck and shoulders. Deep breath in, tighten it all up. And when you're ready, you can relax and let go. And finally we'll tighten up our head and our faces. So deep breath in, you can contort your face in a ridiculous shape because no one's watching. Away we go. And when you're ready, just letting it go, releasing that now. Now it's your choice whether you wanted to return to a particular area that felt really good and do another tense and release, or you can do it all over the body one, but your choice. Away we go now. And when you're ready, letting it all go. Okay, now just find yourself comfortable wherever you are. And I want you to focus in on some lovely deep breaths. So if you want to lean back on your chair, if you aren't already, just really feel into the support of the floor or the couch, wherever you are. Just take a lovely deep breath in through the nose. Pausing before exhaling, either through the nose or the mouth, just making it longer than the inhale. And we'll do that a couple of more times. And when you're feeling ready, you can go ahead and bring that big smile back onto your face. Just focusing in on those deep breaths. And if your mind begins to wander, then feel free to redirect it back to visualizing yourself in that joyful, healthy state of you in your element. Or maybe you want to take it back to you in your safe place. Just remember that you've always got the power to direct those thoughts if you choose to. And we'll just take a few more deep breaths here. And when you're feeling ready, you can reintroduce a little bit of movement back into your body, maybe wiggling your fingertips, wiggling your toes, maybe you're rolling your ankles and wrists, maybe you want to stretch your limbs out to the sides, create a big starfish, or maybe just stretching out overhead, just stretching up like an animal waking up in the morning, just reintroducing whatever movement back into your body that reawakens and makes yourself aware that you are in the room that you are in. And if you haven't already, feel free to blink open your eyes. We're going to end the session now with a stimulation of our vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve running through our body. And we're going to do this by stimulating our vocal cords with the use of saying Om together 3 times. And so what this does is it really reinforces that calming signal to the worry little amygdala in our brains that we are actually safe, we are okay. It's good to stay in a rest and digest state so that we can heal our bodies as much as possible. So go ahead and take your hands and clasp them together and just press them on your chest there so you can feel the vibration as we do this. And I want you to take a deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to Om together as loud or as quietly as you like. Deep breath in now. Okay, so that does bring us to the end of our mindful movement and meditation class. I hope that you've gained benefit from the class. Normally we have a little bit of a chat at the end, which I'm sorry we're not going to be able to do today. But one thing that you can do for yourself and for me is make a promise to me that between now and the next time you either click this video or join one of the live sessions, that you're going to carry this loving, nurturing energy into your present day or days, hopefully, and do something really kind and nurturing for yourself. So that could be taking a bath, it could be going to the sauna, maybe it's having a coffee with a friend. Whatever it is for you that just tells yourself that you are worthy, that you are loved, that you are cared for and supported, go ahead and make that happen for yourself, either today, tomorrow, in a couple of days, but just go ahead and make that promise now. So I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed the session and that my voice wasn't too nasally, too many sniffles through it. I hope to see you back at a live session real soon.